Shalom. Call Halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000. This is the brother Yakanan from the GMS Houston camp. And this lesson is just going to be going into the moon and the signs. And this has been on my mind because there's a solar eclipse coming up tomorrow, the 14th, October 14th, 2023. And at the time this is going on, there's a war that just popped off in Israel. You know, there's plagues going on. There's an infestation of lead bugs that are in France, and then just now there's an infestation of those same bed bugs in England. And I've also heard, I think also in the U.S., some place in the U.S. I don't remember if it's Arizona or New Mexico. It's somewhere out west. But anyway, focusing on the sign and the wonder. This is but let me just get into the scriptures, because it's the moon I'm focusing on. And also the new moon is coming in Saturday evening. So this eclipse is happening during the day at the end of this month, and then the new month is coming in that evening, Saturday evening to Sunday evening. So let's go ahead and get that. Genesis. This is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14. And Elohim said that God there in Genesis 1 is Elohim. It means the angels or the judges or the powers. And Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. That's the sun and the moon. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And the sun and the moon, not only they give their light, but they're also used for signs. We've been seeing all this year, different kinds of blood moons. Tomorrow, there's a solar eclipse, which the sun and the moon are going to be a sign. What's it called? The ring of fire. And for seasons and for days and for years. And you use the moon, you use the sun to tell time, like time during the day. And the moon is used to tell the seasons and the months. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And the firmament is the heavens. And the Most High made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. So the Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, that's the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, that's the moon. So let's go to the next. This is Psalms 104 and 19. He appointed the moon for seasons, the sun knoweth his going down. And this is the moon. It's for seasons. What is it? How you tell the time. Let's look at that word seasons. My wad, appointed place at appointed time. Basically, I was saying for the season. Now it's starting the autumn, the end of harvest. It should be. But let's look at this word moon. Yarach. H3394. Yarach. The moon. So let's look. What is this? And then Yarach. H3391. It also goes into month. So the moon and the month are synonymous. So let's go to the next precept. This is an example that we use to show the new moon. Like when I first learned about the how the Sabbaths were to be kept. I didn't know, but when I came across GMS, I came across one of the videos that are explaining how the Sabbaths work, and it's based off the new moon. It made sense. I ain't had to think too hard. It's no longer Friday, Saturday. I mean, it was a little bit getting used to. With the, because you're kind of changing the calendars, but after a while, it's easy. It's very easy to keep track of. Like using this calendar, the Julian calendar or whatever calendar you use, it makes it harder to follow because the days don't match up, you know. But anyway, this is 1 Samuel 20 and verse 5. And David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is a new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat, but let me go that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at even. And this is when David was seeking to hide from King Saul, because King Saul knew that he was rejected to be king, and David was the runner-up, but Saul was seeking to kill him. But let's look at this word new moon. This is Chadash, H2320, the new moon. Implication, a month. So, for the first day of the month, the lunar month. But this is going into the first day of the month. So they would have a feast, like the Sabbath. You would have a feast at the beginning of the month when the new moon comes in. So what would it be? Saturday evening and Saturday evening, you would have a feast. The following Saturday evening, you would have a feast to bring in the new moon and the Sabbath. So this Saturday at evening when the sun is setting, this brings in the new moon. The following Saturday at evening is the Sabbath, and it keeps going. When you see you just look at that phases of the moon. Oops. So like right here, you see the new moon, the waxing crescent is going counterclockwise. The first quarter and the full moon. The full moon will be the middle of the month. And then going back all the way down. If you're looking at it, follow that arrow going counterclockwise. But anyway, back to the scripts. So the point has been made. The new moon, and Lord willing, this is making sense. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 43 and 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world, and that he is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, Yahweh, through his son and through the angels. He made it. I just read it in Genesis 1. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. And there's other camps like IUIC. They say the new moon is the full moon. That's not so, because every high holy day is on the full moon, meaning that when we were in the wilderness, we had those first feasts out there. We were out in the wilderness, and the moon gave us light. Have you ever been out like in the wilderness, or if you've ever been out in the wilderness during like a full moon, or just when the moon is out? Like, we've been out there when it's supposed to be pitch black, but the moon is illuminating everything. So you can have a feast like that. You can go out there, but on a new moon, it's pitch black. It's dark. But continuing on, This is Sirach 43:8. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. With kind of Salakia, I already have made the point. I passed it. This is my fault. But the moon is for times, and it is a sign of feasts. All the high holy days they fall on a I was gonna say new moon, on the full moon, when the moon is big and bright. What's that song? When the moon hits your eye like a big piece of whatever. Sorry, I'm feeling a little like a silly dove. But these heathen. Let me just read it. This is Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, meaning don't follow after them. Don't learn. Well, for one, we've already been immersed in heathen cultures. If you were awakened to this, you need to learn what's in the scriptures. Learn from the men of GMS. Learn from the apostles and the elders. Learn your heritage from them. Not the way these small hats do things. Not the way that Moab does things. No, not the way that any of these other nations do things. Not even the way that so-called black people do things, because they're heathen too. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. And this Ring of Fire eclipse, there's talks like that it could, what is it, cause blackouts. There's, what is it, tomorrow that Israel is giving threats to the people still in Gaza that if they ain't don't get out, they're gonna they got 24 hours to get out. I'm not sure when that 24 hours started, but they're gonna level the place. But anyway, some people will look at an eclipse and be dismayed about it, or see signs in heaven. The eclipse is a sign in heaven. They'll be dismayed about it, but I'm excited. For the heathen are dismayed at them. And that's pretty much it. Don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. The new moon is coming in. This is a solar eclipse that's happening tomorrow, and really, I'm just excited to see all these things happening. We're almost out of here. The MOTB needs to be implemented. World War III needs to happen, and shoot, it's not a whole lot of prophecies left. Hey, and with that, I'm gonna say shalom.